All right, last game of the World Championship Finals. And yet again, it's going to be a bit of focus on Weibo and then actually some focus on my man, Faker. Okay, so let's get into it. So we have Kennen versus Aatrox. So now this guy's on the counter pick. It's not the greatest of counter picks, but it's something, I guess. Uh, these guys are finally playing a more normal lane. They're out of the Senna game. He's going to start Raptors, which usually means, you'll peel into this, you come over here, and then you want to come back to get your next Raptor set, right? Because you don't want to make this a play. This guy, he's doing to do his Raptors, and he wards just in case there's a Bel'Veth invade. He doesn't really want to do a 3-camp top gank, mostly because if he does that, he will be extremely behind Bel'Veth, which would be bad. And then, of course, these guys are expected to get pushed, so he is a little worried that his camps could be a play. So that's why he's coming over, just to make sure he gets it, okay? Faker, he's able to get a little bit of a push. He's pressuring, which is quite good for the Kali side, top side. Kennen's trying to do whatever he can, get a good amount of CS. If he has low CS, it's probably not the best. And if it is low CS, then it at least needs to be ensuring Aatrox gets a none. And so right now, it's a very nice, initial lead. Now this guy, Faker takes a trade, whatever. He can start growing a push if he wants to. He would have to do it a little bit, start hitting more, throw the Q here and pressure this, and maybe he loses some life. But ideally, this would be good for him to do this. And then Kennen already has this push. What I don't like that what this guy does, and they know this also could have been warded because, boom, look where he moves. So he moves over here. So there's two things. He could have warded this, or he could have warded this. One of the two, right? Now, regardless of that ward being there, your Kennen is pressuring. You don't know where Lee is. You have no idea. When he walks over here, he wards this just to see if Lee can, move into this area as well. But ideally, he also could have just warded this. And then they 100% would have known, oh, okay, we know what's up. Right? And in that case, you're fine with Bel'Veth showing top, because then naturally Lee would just come bot for the crab. And at this point, Bel'Veth should have warded this, or Kennen. And this is the other thing they could have done. Or Kennen, because Kennen really wants to hump this. He really wants to fight this. He either has to come over here, risk the chance of Lee being here, ward it, and then go back. And that's it. But they do none of those things. No one takes the chance to put any vision down, so he's just blindly doing this. I don't think he saw this guy here either. No. He didn't. And so this guy's flashing, and it looks weird, and naturally, it's a gank, right? And at this point, he's like, okay, if I run straight, he's just gonna hit me, I'm gonna die. If I try to run backwards, so he doesn't use his flash, basically. And again, most likely Bel'Veth came bot, because he didn't want his second Raptors to be a play. Again, doesn't know where enemy is, but if they did a deeper ward and actually got more, showing here, that would have been nice. So now owner's like, okay, great. This is going great for me. They're able to get, Azir's flash. We can partially thank, Faker for the way, he's played, this matchup so far. It's been good on his side. It's because, again, if you're a Kali, as long as you're going even and you're pressuring, you're doing a pretty good job. Now this play was pretty damn good by Weibo, and by specifically Weiwei, because there's a ward here, right? So it's gonna be a fast play. It's gonna be hard to execute, and Curia actually plays it pretty well. Now if he flashes forward and he just loses his flash, this is not the best for Bel'Veth. But again, it's you're taking a chance play to get something going, rolling. And he actually screws up, uses Rakani, gets caught, and they actually kill him. And this is going to now snowball. Because now since Bard's going to get this nice reset, Kyria, he's thinking about this situation and just being down here. But he's going to probably match reset and not even do anything with this wave. Should have came top. And protected his Aatrox. Because in the end, his Aatrox has no flash, no TP. This wave is building. It's very awkward. So if Khan was up here, that would have been really nice, but he's not. And so Bard is here first. And then they do this play, and it takes a little bit, but, you know, Bel'Veth finally gets up here, and they get a kill. Cool. Now, keep in mind, you know, even though they do kill Aatrox, even though Kennen does have a decent like CS lead, he didn't get the kill. Bel'Veth got the kill, good for him, but Kennen didn't get the kill. Now he just has to clear downward. These guys get to take a plate. He can't do anything about it because he doesn't have his Bard. He defends the Raptors. Great, cool. You know, works for me. He clear more vision. Herald is the name of the game, so obviously they're just playing for Herald. He gets his reset off. Aatrox pushed out top. Got to move around. They clearly know that these guys are in the area. And so here's the thing. What the hell is going up here? Now, this is like... This really depends on how you look at this. So at this point, he has Qs, right? He doesn't need to auto this. He could just sit here, waiting the Q, and they're fine because they're going to get this no matter what. Based on like the bot play, and then the top play, and then he's helping mid. Like, it's looking great. It's looking really good for Weibo. And then he goes in because he's auto-attacking this, and now he has to burn Flash and his ulti. And now, keep in mind, does this actually alter them gain Herald? Still technically no. They actually pick up a kill because they had the mid move. So this is a fast play. Like, these guys have to kill Kennen to make this work. And so while it's like, okay, you know, we killed the lead, that's pretty nice. And we made them show and everything, like, not bad, but he gets to collect the wave. So, again, he's kind of, like, buying time, and he's kind of just slowly getting there. And, yeah, they get the Herald, and this is a big objective, and so you're thinking, okay, Weibo, like, sick. You know, you're back in control again. You know, this look is looking pretty good. It's obviously going to do his camps. They're trying to just, like, get control again, right? So now they're coming back up, right? Now they're getting vision. Cool. This is all very normal. Lee knew that because he did not have Rakan base, and, like, this guy didn't have push. Sure, I'm not going to do anything. And now everything's looking okay until they Herald here. Why? Dragon's coming up in a little bit. Ideally, since you have bot push, you have mid push, you have full control of over this whole area, you know, you can just go for whatever's the best play, the best timing. You don't have to rush the Herald. So he could have done the Raptors. He would have just pushed this, pressured. If they do a play, you know, you're ready to answer, and then you leave, and then you can even do this, come back here, Herald, do the dragon. Now they really can't do anything about this situation, and you're chilling, right? Instead, they use it here, and again, not the end of the world. This is just optimization, and now they're trying to fight over here, okay? Now, if you're these guys, this ward here was not spotted, and this ward is like kind of an MVP because this means they know what they're running into. But regardless, you know, Varus can move first. Aatrox is already moving down. They could maybe know that just off this. So he starts moving this way. So yeah, at this point, he could, in theory, move down. But even if he does, Kennen has TP, so it's like not the end of the world. So when he comes in, it's already looking decent, right? Now, if Bard ultis this here, this area here, and catches Faker, this is actually not a bad play. Because they're catching these two, you know, Azir can kind of just go in for free, no issue, no retaliation. Kennen can TP when Aatrox is, like, here. And you might successfully get a kill. And if these guys get too low, if he gets too low, then you can kind of pressure this a lot more and maybe even get plates. So, this in itself is not a bad idea by Weibo. But Bard doesn't use it. So Bard never uses the R. This fight goes on too long. And then Faker finally takes the time to flash R. And then he lands the E, and he kills the Bel'Veth, who just got Herald. He picks up the kill, by the way. And so I shouldn't say Faker kills him, but Faker literally led to him being killed. And Aatrox gets the kill. The guy who is struggling the entire time gets the kill. And now, since Kennen TP'd in, no flash. Again, no flash because of, you know, the thing that happened before Herald. He dies. And guess what? Aatrox gets the kill again. He literally waited to ensure that he would pick up the last hit. Now the cannon lead or whatever there was is completely gone and useless. This guy will never do anything in this game in a 1v1 situation. And he TP's up top. And that's really problematic. That's incredibly problematic. So we go to full vision. Bard uses R, but it doesn't do anything. Azir used TP. Again, didn't really do anything. So far, this game has been like almost zero interactions with like 2v2 bot. It's just been like the supports running around. Kennen can't play the game because Kiara is here. The Bard, he's kind of running around. He's getting a lot of vision on top side. They're already like semi-prepping for the second Herald. Probably for some bot wave. So everything's like looking like decent on their side. Right? Weibo's just like, okay, I mean, we need to really do something about this. Like, we want to obviously play for Herald, so at this point, you know, Azir pushed one wave. He doesn't stay down here. He doesn't have TP. So he dips. So they're on a timer. They have to do Herald quick because this guy is now just going to be hitting this for free. So the big issue that I have with how Weibo plays this is if you are going to send Azir up, and again, keep in mind, compounding errors do lead to situations like this where, like, for instance, he did not need the TP, and then now he doesn't have TP, right? They push, they get in here, but they need to come back here and ensure they can push this again. Yes, Aatrox is moving down, kind of a problem, but you need to make sure you're at least contesting the mid wave, because when they're dropping these mid waves, this guy can't do anything. And it just kind of slows things down. So now they're starting because, like, okay, we're on a timer, we're starting it. Aatrox is like sitting here. It's like a little awkward. The Varus. Now this is like the next big issue. If you're Varus, you have to make two decisions. If your team is deciding to drop the mid wave, you need to just be here. Like, you have to literally let them, like, you have to sack what your wave is, because what happens when he does this, like what Light does, is watch where he is. He can't move. Even if they're TPing and everything, this entire time, he can't move. So it's like a 4v5. And then they're still dropping mid waves. And in the end, it's like, we literally just can't do it. Like, T1 literally just stalled them out. And T1 is the one who's stacking dragons. So that is super, super good for them. And just bad for Weibo. Like, bad on Light, and then bad on their fourth squad for not deciding the mid push, if that's really what they wanted to do. And also, again, good on Faker with the side push on bot side and with the TP advantage. Like, that is what really, like, curved it out. Now, they come into bot side, and this is where the next error happens. So the Shy stayed up here. He stayed for whatever buy he had. He should run to Dragon if they're going to contest it. The second he makes this choice to come up here, and yes, he has TP, but you don't have really any good TP wards. If he's here, Nazir had this big push here, he could actually move up this way, and then they can just run in and maybe create something and push them out. Because Kennen's not here physically with them and it's just a TP, they really can't. And so at this point, you know, this objective was up. They could have taken Herald. This guy could have been hitting top. They could have pushed mid. And, like, you'll just sack this, you'll sack this, but in the end, you know, you'll get something in return. The fact that they're doing it this way makes it the fight already really awkward. And then watch what happens. He has a flank. He has a flank. They're just doing this in their face. They have Bard ulti. Bard ulti, but it's Lee Sin, so you're probably not going to catch him. They have flashes. Maybe you get their flashes when you press R. But at this point, you know, Bard ulti needs to come down here. Like, he needs to just smack it. Just throw it in. Like, your whole point is just to charge because this guy's going in. He uses it here. Literally one of the worst Bard ultis he could have done. His Kennen is popping R. You know, he has... Crispus had horrible reaction speeds. Like identifying, like, the threats that are coming and how he should use Bard R has been just terrible. And, like, this guy's coming in and he's flashing, and you have two members. Remember, you have two solo laners. Him and him walking in to the recon. Versus just having a Azir soldier there, and then just having the Kennen just kind of sit over here and overlook, and then he, you know, he has flash, he can always go over. So even then, you know, like with how this setup is, and it's still awkward, and I probably would have just dropped it just to get something on the map versus forcing it. But even when you're a forced attempt, the execution is just so poor. Um, and so naturally, like, you know, these two are screwed. Faker gets in there. You know, these guys can't really do much, and then Faker's just singly handling them. And he gets out. And then they clean up even more. And yeah, Faker dies in the end, but yeah, he led the charge there, right? And then even if you just let this roll out even a bit longer, because now they got third drag, that's rough. Herald's probably going to despawn at this point. They rolled up in the top side. They got vision. These guys have first mid push. So now it's like it's the same effect as last time, you know, when Lee did the top play here on the Shy. And then these guys, like, WBG's team could just roll up and actually collapse still and make the play, like, at least even. Now it's on T1's favor to actually be able to do this. So he's getting this wave. They're successfully pushing them out. This guy's going for red buff. Terrible timing. You are in a pressure timing. So, like, Azir can move. He can push. Like, this is, like, ideally how you want to play it out. And if Bel'Veth only has one camp. If Bel'Veth had 3 camps or something, or 2 camps, it feels a little bit better because at least she's farming more. But because he goes for this, that's why he goes for the blue. And now the mid wave is not being pushed. If they push this, guess what? You push the mid wave, he can contest. These guys can move sooner. There is no move sooner aspect. Again, he is just shoving this. They're just like, okay, well, the Varus is like just really late on any movement. And so that's why Faker just goes in. Faker identifies, guys, this is a good fight timing. Like, we can do this. So he goes in, and Kennan's like, okay, this is not ideal because I don't have flash, right? Bard stops this guy. Bard needs to ulti this guy next. He has to ulti him. But he doesn't. And this guy Smite kills him, and he gets the fight. So again, Bard, terrible play, another terrible play, and they clean these guys up. And now at this point, they take Baron, and the game is just lost. Can't win. It's way too hard. Kennen is useless. Azir is a terrible build and useless. I mean, it helps him side lane, but he doesn't do, like, enough damage for the fact that his Kennen's behind. And again, I shouldn't say terrible build. It's just compounding fact that his Kennen is behind. The Varus has been disconnected in almost the entirety of, like, post 10 minutes. And yeah, T1 have it in the bag.